Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all over the world. Dobson 777A here. I wanted to start out with a quote. This quote's been with me a long time, and I used to train the folks that worked for me that it was important for them to determine what type of person they were. And this is something you should probably tell your children and your grandchildren and everybody else that you work with as well. But there are people that make things happen, there are people that watch things happen, and there are people that wonder what the heck happened. To be successful, you need to be a person who make things happen. This is a very important lesson because we know there's a whole bunch of people in this world that I call the cookie cutter people. You know, you put them on the line, their job is to just cut out cookies, and they wouldn't know how to set up the line, they wouldn't know how to make the batter, they wouldn't know anything except for my job is just to make cookies. And so they go ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk all day long. And those are the people that always are the one that wonder what the heck happened. They're not the people that made things happen. The people that made things happen are the ones that, were the designers of all the setup and the ones that created the wealth for the company. There's other people that are those that kind of watch things happen, and they are maybe have a little more sense, but they're afraid to act. They just don't. And I'll tell you, I'm going to talk about some of this in this presentation. When real estate had crashed, it took like 4 years to bottom. I was off buying hand over fist, and people are like so afraid. Well, how do you know you're going to lose your shirt? You're going to. Those are the people that kind of maybe know that have been around a while, but they were just afraid to act, and they just watched other people do things. So I want to go through some charts today and show you if you are savvy, which I like to think I'm a little savvy. I've been around a while, got the gray hair. I was able to see things and move in a particular direction. And I've been sharing with you the whole time why this happened and how to take advantage of it. And there probably was other ways you could have done it, but I chose to go the path I did, and I think it's worked out really well. So the first thing is using the pitchfork chart. I've kind of shown this before. This is a slightly different view, but we showed that this is starting in 2016. This was on a very predictable, and then it kind of blew off, and then it kind of corrected, and then it came up, and then it collapsed. And this was around September 2018, and it fell off of the pitchfork chart. Now you notice that I had another crash here in March last year, and then it's now climbed all the way back up, and it's just about on the center line again. Now, what's curious is everybody's been telling me, oh, you missed out on the greatest bull run there ever was. Well, let me show you what happened. When I saw this, I had my finger on the trigger, and I was already moving out. So let me show you what I did, and actually started in 2012. So the next thing was right at this point. This is the same point in September. You notice if I line up the S&P 500 and gold is winning. Gold is at 54%. Silver, SPY, is at 26.74%. Now this is without dividends, okay? So it's going to be a little bit higher than this, but gold is kicking the S&P wides. But even though you've seen the thing trying to get back on the line, it's still falling behind the slope of gold's. So then if we go all the way back to 2012, because people didn't understand why silver collapsed, and gold didn't quite collapse, but gold dropped, say, 20%, and silver dropped. Platinum is the light gray, and silver is the dark black. So it looks like silver dropped below 60% from its peak. Here's the thing. At this point, I saw the opportunity was not gold and silver, and I liquidated my gold and silver positions because real estate was the buy of the century. Real estate had dropped by half or less, and you had ridiculously low interest rates, and they were trying to give it away. So this was the opportunity, and you can see from this period in time, this is REZ, and that's the closest thing I could find. If you had just gone into that ETF, you could see it would have been up at the peak about 80%, and then we had the COVID, and it's dropped back to 52%. But what you're missing here is, like with the real estate that I had, I'm getting paid this whole time while I'm holding the real estate, seeing the appreciation of the real estate, all this kind of stuff. And then we got a second buy signal when the S&P 500 broke down, and then that was the time to move into gold. And also I bought some platinum and silver too. And we're going to look at what happened since this time. But anyways, things change, and since we went through the COVID, there may be another opportunity for some real estate, which the smart money is going to go where their money's treated the best. So you got to remember that it's a big, wide-ranging investing universe, and if all of a sudden it's going to take years between short sales, foreclosures, kick through, you're going to have the opportunity to potentially pick up some things half price again. And you've got to do it when it comes up like that, just like we picked up gold and silver half price. So the next chart. So this is when we sold SPY. That was the sell signal when it broke down and you bought gold and miners. And you can see what's happened. SPY is right here, gold is right here, and then the miners are up 84%. The approach that I'm doing is I'm saying take, like 75% physicals and 25% miners. And the idea is you're going to have a green line like about here, where you're going to take some of this and put it on top of the physicals. And so you're going to end up with something kind of in between. It's going to smooth it out, because miners are very volatile, as you can see here. So it's going to smooth it out because this is your ballast. That's the way you play the game. I hope you can see that. This is when you get these signals and you act on it. It takes a little while for it to come to pass, but now you're looking at it's a couple years later. This is paying off handsomely. I had actually been begging people since, I'd say it was right here, August of 2019, to consider platinum and to get a miner. And I did a video in August, and I'm going to show you some of the highlights of that video of where I had called out these three things, and I ended up choosing SBGL, which is what this company was prior to the name change. SBGL was Sabine-Stillwater, and then it changed to SBSW, I think sometime last year, maybe the year before, I can't remember. But anyways, one of the things you'll notice is, platinum has done fairly well, 34%, but I think we're just about ready to take off, as we're seeing here. And then this SBSW, the reason why I chose it, this is an amalgam of several different things. It's gold and the platinum group metals. So you got platinum, palladium, rhodium, rhenium. I think those are all the key ones. And Sabine-Stillwater has been fantastic payoff. If you're looking at this is sitting at 255% since I recommended it, folks. So this is an unbelievable miner, and again, there's something to be said about getting something that has a mix of things. So here's the video on 8/10/19. Platinum is about to snap, how to play platinum miners, and I had PLG, SBGL, and NCPCF. And I was showing the chart, showing how gold had moved up and how gold and platinum kind of tracked together. And so we were expecting platinum to try to play some catch up. It hadn't quite done it yet, but we're expecting it to be to eventually equal gold and more than likely surpass it. But when I move this along here, I did a pretty extensive analysis of this. I went into my little stock screener looking specifically for platinum miners, and then I picked out, Stillwater Mining Company. I then went and looked at the top 10 largest platinum mining companies in the world, went through each one of those, and Sabine-Stillwater showed up on that. I kind of evaluated platinum group metals, and it was kind of like a micro miner, and it didn't interest me as much. Again, remember, I am a very conservative investor, and so I spent a lot of time in this presentation talking about Sabine-Stillwater, and then I then covered the Nickel Creek Platinum Corporation, and then at the end I even had I charted all of these things to see what it looked like, and then I even went into trade stops to look at the volatility of these different stocks. And then I actually looked at who was buying these particular stocks, and it turns out that SBGL was held even by uh, the Van Eck Miners ETF and a number of other companies. And then I found a Sylvain-Stillwater video that I even included. So I did a pretty extensive report on all of this at this time, and this was one of many reports that I put out for you. So today I found an updated presentation from Sylvain-Stillwater, and this was kind of interesting. I'm not going to go through the presentation, but I'll put a link in the description. But this shows the percentage of the metals that they're mining. And so this is showing that gold is 27% of the revenue that's generated for the company. Platinum is currently 13%. Rhodium is 26%, and palladium is 33%. And then you've got like 0.4% for ruthenium and iridium, 8.8%. But they believe that they have positioned themselves for any kind of movement that these metals are going to make, and they don't do them in a uniform way. The metals don't move in a uniform way in the sense that, platinum and palladium don't rise at the same time. In fact, they're typically opposite. And it's because of the way the industry will swap from one to the other. But now with their tertiary metals that they're going to use in catalytic converters and other things, that's going to potentially stabilize. So you'll probably see palladium come down and platinum go up. So that's kind of the theory here. But this presentation is really interesting. It goes through a lot of the updated details, and so you might want to spend some time on it. But I wanted to just hit the highlights, and I wanted you to know that I'm still out here looking out for your best interest, but more importantly, I'm just sharing why I'm doing what I'm doing. And those of you that bought SBSW or SBGL at the beginning, you have made a killing, absolute killing, just like one of the other stocks that we've purchased, and that's VNNHF. So Bellow Sun, they just put a presentation out for a mining conference that they just had in January here, and they are saying, just like I said for the members the other day, members got the information first, but they have put together all of the information requested by the judge, and it's got to be presented now to the indigenous communities, and we'll see if it's going to be accepted. They've made a whole bunch of changes. They're thinking that's going to be greater than a 10-year life. And since they did their initial studies in 2015, when gold was estimated to be $1,200 an ounce, they're now in 2020 at $1,800 an ounce, and they're looking at where it was a 4-year payback, that's now going to be half that time, because gold is nearly doubled in that. So that's going to definitely help the stock price. Again, a lot of interesting information in this particular presentation. They went through a lot of the costs and how this is going to work. So you got a year of construction, half a year commissioning, production ramp up for looks like a year and a half or so, and then commercial production in year 4. A lot of times what happens with these companies, where they're dinky little companies like this, you can expect them to either combine with a larger company or just be flat bought out, and they've had a lot of offers, but I think these guys are not looking to sell necessarily. I think they want to team up with somebody else. The current, it's funny, I get these people that are telling me that the target price on this is only like $1 or something, but I got on good information saying the target price on this is currently $5. We bought around 30 cents, and it's running about close to 80 cents right now. It's been a little bit higher, it's dropped down a little bit, but this is going to $5, folks, and so if it goes to $5, that's going to be a roughly 15 times increase. So this is going to be probably one of your first 10 baggers, and we'll see if it makes it there. If you haven't gotten it in, there's still room to run on this, so I just want you to know. Great presentation on here. You'd probably like to read this. All right, that's it for the show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope everybody's treating you well. I hope you're doing well. Do the best you can. God bless. All right, go potty. We gonna go bye-bye? Are we gonna go bye-bye? Are we gonna go bye-bye? We gonna go bye-bye? Yeah, all right. You going to get in the car? We're not quite ready. I'm almost ready. You almost ready? Okay.